London, 1812. Dawn crept softly across the English countryside, wrapping Hartley Manor in a hush of golden mist. Within its grand walls, Lady Evelyn Hart stood at her window, watching the morning bloom in silence. She was the picture of grace, refined, composed, admired. Yet behind her calm exterior lived a heart that had waited too long. From girlhood she had loved him, the Duke of Ashcombe, with a devotion too deep to name and too dangerous to reveal. To him she was a cherished memory. To her he was the only truth that had ever mattered. But love in their world was never simple. For while Evelyn dreamed of the Duke's affection, his vows belonged to another. Every glance they shared carried the weight of years lost. Every touch, a reminder of what could never be. In glittering ballrooms filled with laughter and light, her heart lived in shadow, bound by duty, silenced by society. And yet, when fate placed them together once more beneath the glow of 1,000 candles, the air itself seemed to tremble. A single look, a forbidden memory rekindled, a choice that could ruin them both. For Lady Evelyn Hart, loving him was not the sin, but believing he might one day love her back. If you love period stories filled with emotion, secrets, and impossible love, subscribe to Velvet Tales and live every chapter as if it were your own destiny. The day of the grand ball approached, a lavish spectacle enveloped in finery and formality. The ostentatious decorations, bedecked in silks and gemstones, were meant to blind the guests to the truth lurking beneath the surface, a harsh contract of hearts subdued by obligation. Lady Clara Middleton, the intended of Duke Samuel, was the sparkling centerpiece of the evening, cloaking all with her charm and beauty. Unbeknownst to her, this indulgent facade masked a war between allegiance and yearning. As Samantha stepped into the ballroom, adorned in ivory lace and pearls, her heart raced with the hope of a stolen glance from Samuel. Yet within the glimmer and brilliance, she felt the gulf of distance between them widen, like a chasm that threatened to swallow her whole, cold, unreachable, and painful. The anticipation heightened, not for itself, but for the bittersweet sting of longing her heart knew too well. The dance floor spun with couples, laughter echoing through the hall, yet an emotional solitude engulfed Lady Evelyn like a shroud, as if she stood apart in a separate realm, an observer of her own life. Each twirl and whirling gown reminded her of the warmth she craved, but it was never to be reached. When Samuel, dashing in his tailored attire, finally approached her, her breath caught in her throat, a moment suspended in time. But just as their eyes locked, a shadow fell over their brief connection. Lady Clara glided in with a practiced grace, claiming Samuel's attention like a storm swallowing the sun. As their laughter filled the air, Evelyn's heart sank, a mirror reflecting the crushing weight of rejection. It was a cruel reminder that while the world celebrated love, she remained a mere spectator, isolated and unseen amidst the jubilant crowd, a heart yearning for companionship it could not touch. In the wake of the ball, the scandalous tales of the evening reverberated through the lavish corridors of Hartley Manor. Gossip roamed freely, weaving intricate narratives that shaped the very fabric of society. Whispers about Lady Evelyn and Duke Samuel filled the air as the refined few huddled in groups, their revelry punctuated with statements laced with jealousy and intrigue. "Did you see the way he looked at her? A love scandal is brewing," they breathed, their tones dripping with envy. Each remark stung Evelyn anew as she was thrust into the thralls of her perceived humiliation. Beneath the laughter and gaiety, she began to feel the incessant disapproval of the elite world she inhabited, a world that demanded perfection, where any divergence from the norm brought scorn. Yet amidst the swirling rumors, hope flickered within. What if Samuel's stolen glances had meant something? What if within the confines of gossip lay the seeds of something extraordinary, something real? Days passed in a blur, yet underlying that facade was the weight of unresolved truths. Evelyn received a letter, its elegant script unveiling the yearning heart of Samuel, yet echoing the fears that held him captive. As she unfolded its contents, each word struck at her heart like an archer's arrow. Samuel confessed to a longing that transcended mere friendship, yet admitted his duty to Lady Clara served as an invisible chain that bound him. The intimate communication ignited a tumult of emotions, confusion blossoming alongside hope, yet entangled with despair. This wound of unfulfilled love seeped deeper into her psyche as she wrestled with the truth of his words, the comfort of shared sentiments juxtaposed against the bitterness of constraint. Torn by Samuel's documented longing and the immovable reality of status, Evelyn resolved to confront her feelings, longing to heal her heart and uncover the secrets stashed within her own soul. The air thickened with emotions when Evelyn and Samuel found themselves alone amidst the verdant expanse of the garden. The intimacy of the moonlight cast a silvery glow that embraced them, allowing their unvoiced fears to surface. With vulnerability hanging like an unspoken promise between them, Samuel took her hands, his voice a gentle murmur laced with shivers. "My heart is bound by duty," he confessed, "yet no binding is stronger than what I feel for you." It was the first true moment of closeness for Evelyn, a revelation breaking through the armor she had built around herself. In the hush of the night, she responded not with words, but with a tear that traced down her cheek. This tender exchange forged a pivotal understanding. Their hearts beat in sync, a symphony of longing and responsibility. And as the moon bore witness, they both recognized the extraordinary nature of their connection, poised on the precipice of desire and despair. Days melted into a rhythm, a bittersweet routine that intertwined Evelyn's longing with nature's eternal beauty. The estate's gardens became her refuge, an ethereal escape where she could ponder dreams of freedom. Evelyn took solace in riding through the dappled woods, her spirit igniting with each gallop, the wind at her back a whisper of encouragement. She often rode to a secluded clearing, where wildflowers bloomed and the horizon seemed to stretch endlessly, providing a stark contrast to the confines of her heart. It was here, amidst the fluttering petals, that her laughter mingled with the songs of nightingales, evoking echoes of her childhood joys. Yet despite these fleeting moments of tranquility, Edward's heart remained cloaked in shadows. She craved the warmth of companionship that eluded her. Nature juxtaposed the serenity she sought against the tumult of her heart. For even in this place of solace, the unresolved thread of love lingered, waiting to unravel. Tragedy and tumult marched into Hartley Manor when a scandal erupted, an undeniable threat that sent ripples through society. Lady Clara was caught in an indiscretion that shook the foundations of her arranged engagement with Samuel, whispers of betrayal weaving a tapestry of chaos around her. Fragments of gossip sliced through the air like arrows, and as the news reached Samuel, the weight of his world felt as if it were collapsing. Evelyn stood a bystander once again as the upheaval unfurled. Ingrained loyalty clawed at her heart. Samuel rushed to offer solace to Clara, desperately attempting to salvage the remnants of his vows. Yet as he did, Evelyn felt the ground shift beneath her. The depths of this crisis forced her to confront not only her feelings for the Duke, but also the very nature of love and companionship. With tension thick around them, the boundaries of loyalty and desire strained against society's unyielding demands. The climax transpired in an unanticipated showdown, the very fabric of societal order unraveling. At a hastily convened gathering, all participants convened to confront the tangled mess of obligations and unfulfilled yearnings. Evelyn, emboldened by her own anguish and love, stepped forward, heart pounding but resolute. She echoed Samuel's feelings, revealing the raw emotion hidden beneath her demure facade. "Duty demands, but love commands greater truths," she challenged, her voice ringing clear in the charged air. As the truth cascaded from the lips of those present, including Clara's own admission of betrayal, a catharsis washed over the assembly, unveiling the powerful concept that love need not be bound by status. The revelation cracked through the walls of obligation, sparking an awakening amongst the attendees, a collective reckoning representing love's capability to transcend the barriers built by society and the heart's ultimate quest for authenticity. In the aftermath of emotional upheaval, tranquility began to reclaim its place within the halls of Hartley Manor. Following the confrontation, Samuel openly sought his heart's desire, unshackling himself from a life that suffocated his authenticity. As days passed, he and Evelyn discovered a newfound joy in each other's presence, an unbroken bond blossoming from the remnants of turmoil. They walked hand in hand through blooming gardens, laughter echoing against the backdrop of melodious birds. Romantic tête-à-tête filled their evenings, where dreams merged as reality, Evelyn often reminiscing about her childhood, while Samuel listened, attentively nurturing the fragile hope of shared lives. With the acceptance of their feelings, They invited others into their world, creating a familial warmth that enveloped them. It was here, in this sanctuary of acceptance, that they built the foundation for a love that transcended the past, glowing brightly as they embraced the promise of new life intertwined. The final chapters of their love story echoed through the corridors of Hartley Manor. Love triumphed over loss and tradition. As they gathered their close friends, Samuel and Evelyn shared their journey, an intimate testament to the power and resilience of love. "It is a journey worth taking," Evelyn spoke, her words laced with a gentle conviction. "True love demands bravery and sacrifice, but it also nurtures authenticity. Let our story serve as a reminder that standing tall in love's face can yield extraordinary freedom." Applause erupted among the guests, ringing with heartwarming resonance, echoing into the dimming light of the setting sun. As they raised their glasses in celebration, a collective understanding bloomed within. Love could flourish amidst struggles and societal constraints. "Share your own stories of love's courage. Connect with us in these tales," Samuel added with warmth. "In love we find solace, and every tale shared brightens the world." Now we continue with Block 13, opening scene. The dawn arrived in hushed tones, its soft light spilling over the undulating hills that cradled Hartley Manor. A light fog hung like delicate lace around the estate, creating an ethereal embrace that blurred the line between the waking world and the realm of dreams. Lady Evelyn Hartley leaned against the wrought-iron railing of her balcony, her heart caught in a web of longing as she gazed at the sprawling gardens below. Each blooming rose, vibrant against the morning dew, whispered tales of the love she yearned for, a love that felt like an unattainable star shimmering in an endless sky. It was a bittersweet moment, infused with beauty yet underscored by a haunting sense of loneliness. She felt trapped in her gilded cage, the whispers of the wind mingling with her silent heartbeats. This fleeting moment of tranquility was a stark contrast to the tempest that raged within her, igniting the fierce desire to break free from the constraints that bound her to a life dictated by duty rather than passion. Within the echoing halls of Hartley Manor, the burdens of societal expectations loomed large over Evelyn's shoulders. Her mother's insistence on propriety, coupled with a relentless parade of suitors eager to court her favor, stifled her spirit. Each elegant gathering felt more like a noose tightening around her neck, a reminder that her fate was crafted by alliances beyond her control. Amidst the flutter of skirts and the clinking of silverware, Samuel's name echoed in the back of her mind, an ever-present spectre haunting her thoughts. Their childhood friendship, suffused with laughter and shared secrets, had subtly transformed into something deeper, yet remained a fruitless venture, chained by the conventions of duty. She often wondered whether the heartache coursing through her veins was the true cost of her noble birth, a price paid to uphold a facade that had grown increasingly burdensome. And with every prearranged meeting, Evelyn felt the insidious grip of despair threatening to suffocate her dreams. The grand ball loomed on the horizon, a gaudy display of wealth and status that promised to eclipse the moon in its splendor. The glimmering chandeliers cast fractured rays of light over the ornate ballroom, illuminating the silk-clad figures swirling in elegant choreography. Samuel, resplendent in meticulously tailored attire, had become the embodiment of every lady's dream, yet he was shackled to the cold confines of a loveless engagement. Lady Clara sauntered in, draped in lavish fabrics adorned with jewels, radiating an air of confidence that belied her carefully constructed world. It was a stark contrast to Evelyn, who felt like a shadow fighting for recognition among stars. The air hung thick with silent competition, the flicker of longing and jealousy dulled beneath layers of smiles and flattery. As the first dance began, Evelyn's pulse quickened, anticipation coursing through her veins as she dreamed of engaging Samuel in a dizzying embrace, unaware that her heart was veering towards a precipice that threatened to shatter her very essence. As the evening progressed, the cacophony of laughter and frivolity amplified Evelyn's isolation, the gilded cage of her life pressing in ever tighter. When Samuel finally approached her with an inviting smile, her heart soared, igniting a moment that felt electric and alive. But that spark died as quickly as it emerged, when Clara interjected with flirtatious laughter, claiming Samuel's attention with the grace of a queen. Each of Clara's gestures, her linked arms, her enchanting laughter, danced in the air like a cruel reminder of the barriers that confounded Evelyn's heart. It was as if the world stepped back to watch, leaving her exposed and vulnerable, a solitary figure within a shimmering throng. The ache of rejection washed over her, bitterness curling around her heart. How cruel it felt to witness genuine joy, knowing it would forever elude her grasp. In this moment, beneath the deceptive lights and the facade of grandeur, she confronted the truth. Her love remained unrequited, an unsung melody drowned out by the orchestra of societal obligations. The grand ball had become a theatrical showcase, with every movement dissected behind lace fans and glimmering chandeliers. Whispers swirled through the air like smoke, and Evelyn could feel the prying eyes searching for the intrigues hiding beneath surface gaiety. "Did you see her with the Duke?" one lady exclaimed, her voice laced with intrigue. "It seems that there's more than mere friendship at play." The laughter that followed was fueled by envy and mischief, each remark sharpening the blade of Evelyn's heart. It painted her as a tragic figure caught in the web of unfulfilled love, yet she repressed the instinct to defend her honor. It was suffocating, the air laden with expectations and distorted truths. Yet amidst those murmurs, a flicker of hope remained. What if Samuel's gaze, lingering a moment longer, meant he felt it too? What if he could see past the layers of fabric and pretense to the heart that beat for him alone? Though uncertainty loomed, Evelyn resolved to navigate this world of whispers for a chance at love, no matter the cost. With the echoes of the ball blurring into distant memories, Evelyn found herself consumed by the silent turmoil born from her unspoken feelings. Days turned into sleepless nights, filled with visions of Samuel, each moment replaying in her mind, the ache of yearning unfurling like the tendrils of a dark vine around her heart. A letter arrived unexpectedly, soft parchment cradling words from Samuel that pierced through her isolation. The ink sang of his struggles, the responsibilities he bore, and the weight of affection he felt for her. Yet each confession was laced with pain. His heart was entwined with the chains of obligation to Lady Clara. As Evelyn perused the letter, the bittersweet knowledge throbbed within her, intermingling hope and despair. His sentiments mirrored her own, yet the brutal reality of their positions settled heavy in her chest, forcing her to confront the contrasting emotions spiraling within. In these tension-filled moments, she began to carve out a new path toward freedom, declaring internally that she would no longer remain shackled to silence. One afternoon, amidst the fragrant blooms of the garden, an impromptu tête-à-tête unfolded between Samuel and Evelyn, catalyzed by the allure of nature's quiet intimacy. Underneath the warm sun, they found respite from the intricate facades dictated by society. The air was thick with possibility, as Samuel's eyes searched Evelyn's, and the world receded, allowing them to exist in a bubble of shared truth. "Every moment apart feels like a lifetime," he confessed, vulnerability lacing his words. Each syllable struck a chord deep within Evelyn, as a shiver ran down her spine. In that instant, they stepped beyond mere friendship. The distance that had tethered them faded. Their shared laughter sparkled like sunlight on the garden pond, mingling with the sweet scent of wildflowers that surrounded them. With every whispered truth, their hearts danced closer together, and as his steady hands enveloped hers, Evelyn felt that the warmth between them was a balm against all that held them apart. It was a transformative moment, a union of two souls long yearned to connect, yet withheld by societal barriers. In the days that followed, Evelyn embraced the solace that nature offered, her rides through the lush countryside becoming a refuge of sorts. The rhythmic gallop of her horse against the earth mirrored her yearning heart, which beat in time with nature's cadence. She sought solace in the secret garden, where the petals bloomed in vibrant colors, reminiscent of her unexpressed desires. Each afternoon she would lose herself among the flowers, their beauty symbolizing the love she silently craved, while birds fluttered around her, echoing her own heart's song of freedom. Though enchanting, it was a bittersweet retreat, one that only amplified her solitude in the absence of Samuel. Yet as the days slipped by, she discovered strength in the quiet moments spent in nature. Each ride against the wind brought clarity, cementing the conviction that she could no longer remain a mere spectator to her own story. The inner turmoil fueled her resolve to reclaim her narrative from the binds of duty that threatened to suffocate her heart. As the summer's heat began to wane, a scandal erupted, shaking the very foundations of Hartley Manor. The news arrived like a tempest, roiling through the estate. Lady Clara had been compromised, casting a shadow of suspicion upon Samuel's engagement. Conversations that started as whispers quickly intensified, flooding the ballroom with gossip that threatened Clara's reputation. The nobility was abuzz with the implications. A union steeped in expectations was suddenly unraveling at the seams. Samuel, already burdened by the obligations of nobility, now faced a torrent of scrutiny and responsibility he'd never anticipated. Within her heart, Evelyn felt the sting of empathy for Clara. Though a rival, she was also a woman trapped within the same gilded cage of societal pressure. This external crisis became both a test and a catalyst. It illuminated the truth that love requires courage amidst turbulence. Even as regret clouded the air, the yearning in Evelyn's heart solidified, leading her to forge resolute decisions about her own future. The atmosphere hung thick with tension as the truth unraveled at the hastily arranged gathering, a confrontation where hearts and souls would be laid bare. With each passing moment, Evelyn felt a growing compulsion to reveal her own sentiments, to dismantle the barriers that kept her true desires shackled. As Samuel took a stand against the forces pressing upon him, it ignited a fire within her. This was a moment not only of reckoning for him, but for her as well. The words spilled forth like a long-eclipsed dawn, breaking through the darkness, illuminating the love that lay between them. "Hiding in the shadows of responsibility suffocates true love," she declared, conviction radiating from her core. And with those words the air quivered, a shared understanding blossoming in response as eyes turned toward Samuel. His truth mirrored hers, and a wave of catharsis washed over the room, a confirmation that love must rise above duty. As whispers of justice danced in the air, both Evelyn and Samuel recognized that a bond forged in honesty could withstand the trials they faced. In the weeks following the tumult of revelations, a newfound solace settled within the walls of Hartley Manor. The tempestuous whirlwind of emotions gradually gave way to harmony, as clarity illuminated the paths that lay before both Samuel and Evelyn. Their connection blossomed, nurtured by an enduring passion that now breathed freely, unchained from the past. Even the estate seemed to awaken anew. Gardens flourished, and laughter echoed through the halls, a fragrant essence marking their journey forward. In the embrace of shared dreams, they crafted a family of their own, not defined by lineage alone but by the authenticity of love and companionship. As they strolled side by side through the vibrant blooms, their laughter intertwined with the melodies of nature. The seasons were blossoming anew, echoing the rebirth of joy in their hearts. With every laughter shared, and each conversation sparkled with hope, their lives became one woven tapestry, reflecting the brilliance of their love story, a bond that could not only endure but flourish beyond the constraints that once bound them. In the twilight of their journey, Evelyn and Samuel gathered with cherished friends, the warmth of shared affection illuminating the evening. Nestled within the heart of Hartley Manor, the memories of their trials fueled a celebration, a testament to love's resilience against the odds. Evelyn, radiating joy, shared their story, her voice imbued with the lessons carved through their struggles. "Love is worth fighting for, despite the barriers," she spoke, her eyes reflecting the fire of passion and truth. As laughter mingled with the clinking of glasses, Samuel added, "May our journey inspire you to embrace your own truths." Their words rippled outward into the world, inviting others to discover love amidst struggle. "Let us celebrate not just our union, but the courage to follow our hearts," Evelyn concluded, hopeful eyes glimmering in the candlelight. And as friends toasted to new beginnings, they intertwined their hands, cherishing the profound connection that transformed their lives forever, a beautiful reminder that love, genuine and fierce, can indeed conquer all. Now we continue with Block 25, Visual Immersion. As spring painted Hartley Manor in vibrant hues, the air buzzed with anticipation of a new season brimming with possibility. Morning dew clung to the petals of blossoms, refracting light like scattered jewels, while the melodic chirping of birds carried through the grand gardens alive with colour. Lady Evelyn Hartley, basking in the morning light, felt a flutter in her heart, igniting a profound sense of hope. Today marked the celebration of renewal. Gardens in full bloom mirrored her own awakening as she dared to embrace the untamed territories of her desires. The estate, once a gilded cage, transformed into a sanctuary of love and laughter, each corner rich with the echoes of joy and dreams fulfilled. Memories of laughter floated through the air, weaving between the trunks of ancient trees, inviting her to breathe deeply and commit fully to the path she had chosen, a new life unfurling before her, like the petals of a rose unfolding toward the sun. Yet, with the sun's rise came the shadows of doubt. Rumors still circulated, sentiments quick to turn from celebration to scrutiny. Evelyn felt that familiar knot tighten in her stomach as the weight of societal expectations bore down upon her shoulders. Today, she was determined to embrace the love she had fought for, but whispers reverberated like dark clouds threatening their clear skies. The spectre of past obligations loomed over not just Samuel, but over her as well. Could their love withstand the pointed fingers and envious glances of those around them? At the heart of it all, Evelyn faced a vital choice: to succumb to the carefully planned arrangements that dictated her existence, or to forge a new path unbound by obligation. Resolutely, she uncurled her fingers from the silk veil of fear and doubt, vowing that her heart's whispers would resonate louder than the clamor of tradition. This celebration was her chance to reclaim her narrative from a destiny written by others. As the guests began to arrive for the spring celebration, the air was heavy with excitement, the fragrance of blooming lilacs wrapping around the gathering like a fragrant embrace. Each guest was adorned in resplendent attire, a multitude of colors blending into the lush backdrop of the gardens. Yet amidst the gaiety, Evelyn felt a flicker of uncertainty as she scanned the crowd for Samuel. His absence, even for a fleeting moment, felt like a betrayal of their unspoken bond. As Lady Clara made her grand entrance, the whispers of admiration echoed. She embodied the epitome of societal grace, her smile masking the insecurity that threatened her. Together they had turned this event into a spectacle, yet Evelyn sensed that their facade was as fragile as glass, threatening to shatter under the weight of truth. She clung to her resolve, reminding herself that love was worth every ounce of discomfort, as she stood amidst the jewel-toned silk and hidden heartaches unfolding before her. As the afternoon wore on, and laughter rang through the air, the insidious sting of rejection began to gnaw at Evelyn's heart once more. Samuel moved through the crowds, lost in the adulation of his peers, while Clara ensured that every gaze was drawn toward her. The familiarity of her vision pressed down upon Evelyn like a heavy cloak. She felt dulled, eclipsed by the radiant shine of a love shared by others. Each shared smile between Samuel and Clara felt like a searing brand on Evelyn's soul. Through the laughter and clinking of glasses, she dared not reveal how desperately she yearned for a moment alone with him, for a chance to breathe in the warmth of his undeniable presence. The warmth of the sun contrasted starkly with the growing chill, one of solitude creeping into her heart, reminding her once more that she was held captive not by the bonds of love, but by the construct of society's expectations. In that moment of vulnerability, hope flickered dangerously, yet she clung to it. Could whispered truths find a way to penetrate walls so high? As twilight descended, the festivities ensconced the guests in its vibrant embrace, but the lingering murmurs of gossip tainted the joyous atmosphere. The soft rustle of skirts mixed with whispers that flowed like wild ivy among the guests. "Have you seen how Samuel favors her?" one lady hissed, pointing somewhat discreetly toward Evelyn. "It cannot be merely friendship, can it?" The comments dragged through the air, venomous and pointed. Though fiery indignation bubbled within her, Evelyn maintained her guise, recognizing that revealing her thoughts would only deepen the intrigue surrounding her. Determined to remain composed, she plastered on a smile, aware that she was as much a part of this complex tapestry of expectations as the others. But beneath that polished surface, a tempest raged within, a swirling concoction of fear and resentment. Would they dictate her life, control her heart? Or could she reclaim her story amidst the blooms of falsity and revel in a love freely given, tethered not by gossip but by truth? Behind closed doors, the reality of Evelyn's wound pulsed like a silent heartbeat only she could hear. Late at night, in the quiet of her chamber, she pondered the intricacies of love caught in a web of obligations. Samuel's letter demanding a response transformed into the lifeline she clung to. His articulations of adoration became the balm that soothed her aching heart. Each word he penned unveiled layers of longing and vulnerability, revealing a man ensnared by duty, yet yearning for freedom, the same freedom she craved. Clutching it close, she found solace, Yet as the dawn crept ever closer, dread welled up within her. What if his affections remained tangled in societal duties? Would words be enough to bridge the chasm separating them? Through deep reflection, she sought to unmask her emotions, determined to articulate her truth amidst the swirling tides of doubt and fear, a truth so powerful that honesty might illuminate their hidden desires, although fraught with uncertainty. Days of uncertainty gave way to chance, an encounter in the verdant hollows of the garden, cloaked in the quiet of dusk. Samuel's presence ignited a spark in the air as they met under the fluttering branches, the gentle rustle of leaves whispering promises as they intertwined together. With earnest eyes reminiscent of the sky's twilight hues, Samuel reached for Evelyn's hand, holding it with a tenderness that sent pulses racing through her veins. "I cannot pretend any longer," he breathed, his voice raw with emotion. In that moment, the world melted away, time folding into itself as their souls craved companionship. All that existed was the palpable warmth between them and the unbreakable connection they had shared since youth. "You are my heart's desire, and even duty cannot sever this bond," he affirmed, and with those words Evelyn felt the barriers dissolve, opening her heart to the vastness of longing transcending them both. Emotions engulfed them as their hearts danced freely, creating a rhythm that could defy the world outside. As their connection blossomed, Evelyn found solace in the fertile landscape beyond the manor, her sanctuary of freedom. The garden had transformed into a cherished haven, where trysts unfolded amidst the fragrant blooms. The wildflowers blossomed vibrantly, echoing her emotions and nurturing the flame ignited by the stirrings of truth. Each ride into the countryside converged with a sense of weightlessness. The lanes wound through fields of gold as the sun kissed her skin. A treasure of shared moments marked their journey as Samuel joined her on horseback, laughter intermingling with the rustle of leaves, his presence infusing her with joy. Love unfurled like petals in spring, a breathtaking revelation patiently waiting to burst into bloom. As Evelyn galloped alongside him, heart racing, the constrictions of status faded, leaving only the essence of who they were, two souls intertwined, ready to defy the odds in pursuit of an extraordinary life, twisting between the seams of obligation and desire. In the haze of blossoming love, calamity struck as shadows of scandal crept into their world. The truth of Lady Clara's indiscretion became a raging wildfire spread by whispers and judgment, igniting chaos at Hartley Manor. The very fabric that tied generations of families began to tear, forcing Samuel into a whirlwind of torment as he struggled against society's expectations for engagement. The mounting pressures swirled around him like a storm, unfolding at a breathless pace, inviting questions of loyalty and moral obligations. Evelyn felt her heartache for Samuel, knowing he bore a heavier burden than she could comprehend, yet simultaneously recognizing the bittersweet opportunity this turmoil presented. With fragments of guilt hanging in the air, the stakes grew ever higher, casting Samuel's acceptance of love into a brighter light. The intricate layers of obligation transformed into motes of dust filled with potential. Samuel's commitment could either become chains binding them, or the very wings propelling them into a life defined by passion. As tensions reached a boiling point, Hartley Manor bore witness to a gathering of hearts and minds seeking resolution. The sense of urgency crackled within the air as Evelyn and Samuel stood together, flanked by the tumultuous friendships and entangled loyalties surrounding them. The pivotal moment ignited when Samuel finally claimed the floor amid the cacophony of disbelief, a decisive stand that echoed through the assembled ranks. "We are not pawns to be moved in others' games," he declared, eyes sweeping across the stunned crowd. In that intense atmosphere, Evelyn's heart became intertwined with courage as he beckoned for clarity. With her pulse racing, she echoed his sentiments, imploring society to recognize the power of love over obligation. In the uproar of emotion, truth crystallized, igniting a cathartic release that reverberated through the ballroom and beyond. All present realized they were not merely observers of this love, but participants in a revolution spurred on by passion and bravery. Within the aftermath of upheaval, a new narrative began to weave through the very essence of Hartley Manor. Freed from the shackles of obligation, Evelyn and Samuel became agents of change, breathing life into the foundations laid in uncertainty. The garden, once veiled by shadows of doubt, now shimmered with vibrant colors, the petals breathing promises of new beginnings. The summer sun bore witness to shared moments filled with laughter and genuine joy, illuminating their path as a couple forged anew. Friends rallied around them, their collective support creating an awe-inspiring tapestry, binding everyone into a newfound family defined by resilience. As they strolled under starlit skies, hand in hand, conversations of plans and dreams intertwined, echoing the spirit of adventure they now embraced. It was within this genuine connection that they found serenity, a community that cherished love above titles, united in the shared belief that authenticity could jewel the world with unparalleled splendor. In the embrace of twilight, when stars painted the sky with whispers of dreams, Evelyn and Samuel gathered their closest friends beneath the vast expanse of the stars, their laughter intertwined with the gentle breeze, fueled by a bond forged through trials and triumphs. Evelyn raised her glass, her voice imbued with warmth. "Love demands courage. Never let barriers bind your hearts." Her words echoed against the backdrop of flickering lanterns and cherished friends, igniting embers of hope in the eyes of those listening. Embrace each moment and share your passions, for in the end, love is the greatest adventure. Samuel spoke next, urging them all to find their own stories of love amidst uncertainty. With glances exchanged and promises whispered, they affirmed their decisions to cherish and honor those connections that thrived beyond the veil of societal expectations. Share this journey of love with those you cherish, for the world transforms when hearts unite. As night deepened, the air shimmered with the magic of their love, an invitation for others to seek out the beauty buried within their own hearts. Now we continue with Block 37, Visual Immersion. The sun spread its golden rays across the countryside as Hartley Manor stood resolute against the horizon, pronounced against a backdrop of vibrant blooms and lush greenery. Mornings had become a canvas to paint dreams anew, each petal unfurling with possibilities, heralding a fresh start. Lady Evelyn Hartley awoke with a flutter of anticipation in her heart. These moments belonged to the soft rustle of leaves beneath her fingers, the vibrant colors of the world around her, a reminder that nature breathed with her spirit. It was during these tranquil mornings that she found clarity. Stepping onto her balcony, the laughter of her summer's eve still echoed in her mind, blending beautifully with the fresh scent of dew-kissed grass. The beauty of the estate no longer felt like gilded confinement, but instead became a sanctuary, a testament to her rebirth, reflecting the journey she had undertaken from solitude through the chrysalis of love towards the flourishing butterfly she now embodied. But as she savored the embrace of the morning sun, a reminder of her past obligations loomed larger still within her consciousness. The exaltation of their union carried an undertow of doubt, threatening to eclipse the joy she had fought so valiantly to attain. Evelyn took a moment to reflect on her mother's expectations, the shadow of Lady Clara's previous hold on Samuel, and the demands of society that lingered still. Would those ancient obligations fade like shadows at dusk, or would they infringe upon her blossoming spirit? Emboldened by her journey, she resolved to confront the remnants of her past, recognizing that the power to define her future was solely hers. She had woven a narrative of love steeped in bravery. Now it was time to withhold the power and dedication necessary to uphold it. Love was not merely an arrangement, but rather a spiraling force that burgeoned with authenticity, grounding her spirit and igniting the very essence of her being. The day of the anniversary celebration arrived, marked by extravagance and an unshakable fervor among the guests. Hartley Manor glistened, the expertly adorned table draped in linens that shimmered like the stars, exquisite flowers bursting forth in a kaleidoscope of colors. Yet beneath the stunning spectacle, threads of anxiety tightened within Evelyn's heart. She bore the mantle of honor, yet the weight felt heavier than the heart-wrenching burden of societal expectations. The laughter amidst the crowd rang hollow against her expectations, as if the joyous atmosphere mocked her own inner turmoil. As Samuel entered, flanked by Lady Clara, the festivities took on a different shade, inviting whispers that stirred the very air around them. Yet this time, something was undeniably different. The truth found its way to the surface, banishing shadows that had lingered for too long. Determined, Evelyn steeled herself for this moment, vowing to seize the occasion as a catalyst for her transformative journey into the heart of true love. As the evening unfolded, Evelyn found herself trapped in the swell of chatter, her own heart an island of longing amidst the jubilant tide. Samuel flitted through the crowd like an elusive flame, drawing admiration and praise. Yet every smile he offered Clara felt like a dagger thrust through Evelyn's heart. The joy of the crowd weighed heavily on her soul, suffocating her courage as she struggled to rise above her insecurities. Songs wove their melodic threads through the air, echoes of love that danced tantalizingly close, yet remained nothing but a beautiful facade. This cold truth settled deep within her like a shadow, her heart caught between the desire to claim her feelings or remain a silent observer to their unfolding tragedy. But the evening was not yet over, and a sense of certainty crystallized within her. Perhaps tonight would be the night the truth would find voice, and she would rise from the ashes of despair into a brilliant phoenix, ready to reclaim her heart's desire. The revelries swirled on, engulfing the ballroom in shadows and flickering candlelight, where passions and ambitions clashed like two armies poised for battle. Whispers unfurled around Evelyn, hearts racing within gilded cages as romantic intrigues and alliances warred in every corner. "Look at Samuel and Clara. Wouldn't they make quite the image?" one lady remarked, the envy dripping from her voice. Each word was like an icy blade, cutting through the warmth of Evelyn's thoughts, forcing her to remain composed as she overheard the circling conversations. Hunger for clarity gnawed at her like a hungry animal waiting in the dark. If others could only see the truth behind the polished facade, the power of two souls intertwined beyond obligation. Surrounded by whispered judgments and murmurs of praise, Evelyn realized the burden lay not just upon her shoulders. Rather, the echoes of love hung like linen about to unfurl, poised to unravel the truth for those willing to speak out. Through the night, Evelyn became increasingly aware of her own emotional wound, the truths traveling unspoken between herself and Samuel. But now, it was time to pull back the veil protecting those silent whispers, for she found herself yearning for release. Breathing deeply, she resolved to convey her true feelings no matter the consequences. In the quiet moments she slipped away from the thrumming crowd, seeking refuge amongst the fragrant blooms of the garden. It was there, lit by the moon's tender glow, she composed a letter to Samuel, a vessel of her hopes swirling with unfiltered emotion. She poured her heart onto the pages, expressing frustration, devotion, and a longing that now flooded her, demanding acknowledgement. Each stroke of her pen became a chorus of authenticity, singing through the stillness, reminding her that love, once confined, could burst forth like petals pushed through earth. It would be her truth that laid the foundation for their liberation, a secret no longer, but a bold proclamation awaiting his response. The next evening, as twilight draped its cloak over Hartley Manor, the intoxicating fragrance of blooming jasmine filled the air, mingling with Evelyn's fervent anticipation. She had placed the fragile letter in Samuel's hand, their fingers brushing, sending shivers down her spine. His gaze, momentarily lost in the depths of her eyes, ignited her yearning heart with hope. "I need to speak with you," he said softly, desire pooling between them like molten fire. Taking her hand, he led her to a secluded alcove bathed in moonlight, isolated, yet promising, the world around them fading into a distant hum. In that ephemeral moment, he laid bare the tumultuous battle within himself, the indecisions that kept him chained to honor and duty, yet drawing him closer to her undeniable allure. "You hold my heart in your hands, yet the binds of obligation imprison me," he confessed, his voice trembling as he sought clarity within the whirlpool of emotion surrounding them. It was their first true closeness, where vulnerability coursed freely, inviting a moment of exquisite intimacy to breathe life into their dreams of love. In the days following their heartfelt exchange, Evelyn discovered a newfound buoyancy in the atmosphere surrounding Hartley Manor. Each morning, she embraced the freedom of nature, riding through the lush meadows, where the sun's warmth nurtured her spirit like never before. The vibrant blooms along the trails felt more vivid, imbued with life as if nature rejoiced alongside her journey. With Samuel by her side, they explored the hidden trails, laughter cascading between them like the gentle streams flowing to the hills. Each shared gaze ignited the embers of newfound passion as they witnessed the world through each other's eyes, an adventure beyond the constraints of duty. With every ride, every shared secret out on those paths, they sowed the dreams of their hearts into the very fabric of the land around them, weaving together snippets of their love into a living tapestry. Here, amidst the blossoms and gentle breezes, Evelyn recognized their love gleamed more brilliant than any spectre of obligation. It stood resilient against the tides of society. The idyllic days spent amidst the meadows were abruptly interrupted when news of a threatening illness swept through Hartley Manor, casting dark shadows upon their blossoming love. A sudden fever struck Lady Clara, plunging the estate into worry and whispered tales of tragedy. The vulnerability of life had manifested, reminding them that joy could quickly turn to sorrow. Evelyn felt the weight of the moment press upon her heart as Samuel rushed to Clara's side. Worry creased his brow as he battled the tension rising within him. While Clara's missteps had previously fueled resentment, in that fragile hour of uncertainty, humanity stirred deep within Evelyn's heart for the woman who had sought to claim Samuel's affections. Observing her beloved's quiet distress revealed his enduring loyalty, igniting a potent cocktail of emotions within her, a recognition that love's complexity often unfolded amidst vulnerability, and hearts interwove like threads in a wider tapestry. Whether joy or despair, the truth remained that love demanded courage, defining the bonds that transcended mere competition into the essence of compassion. As the fever ebbed, the ensuing days brought a catharsis that rippled through Hartley Manor, burrowing its way into the very souls of those who dwelled within. The turmoil had birthed profound revelations. Evelyn observed Samuel's unwavering devotion as he tended to Clara, his commitment to compassion fueling the transformative tide within. Late one evening, amidst flickering candlelight and softened whispers, Samuel approached her, his expression revealing the depths of his heart. "In witnessing the vulnerability of love, I've come to understand my own," he confessed, eyes laden with sincerity. The moment hung between them like fragile glass, each heartbeat resonating with the urgency of truth. With every ounce of honesty, he declared, "My choice is you, Evelyn. Society holds no sway over my heart, nor should any obligation chain my spirit." And in that suspended moment, all hearts in the chamber bore witness, the swirling shadows dissipating into light as hope bathed them all, offering promise, a renewed, unyielding commitment that encapsulated their journey. As certainty blossomed from uncertainty, the atmosphere within Hartley Manor transformed entirely. The solid weight of acceptance forged a new narrative, crafting shared moments of a flourishing love forged amidst trials. Evelyn and Samuel, now anchored in their authentic selves, became vibrant embodiments of commitment to one another, navigating life not as bound souls, but as willing partners embarking on an extraordinary journey. Mornings were graced with laughter, garden strolls filled with promises of forever, laughter echoing beneath the ancient trees. They began building dreams side by side, a family fueled by trust, adventure, and joy, unbound by societal confines. Friends rallied around them, their support intertwining as they wove intricate celebrations that echoed throughout the estate, creating bonds that flourished in shared purpose. As they gathered for feasts and evenings spent sharing stories beneath the stars, the realization dawned: the family they were creating together would foster love that transcended societal barriers, becoming the radiant essence of their heart's desires. In the autumn of their journey, under a canopy of gold and crimson leaves, Evelyn and Samuel gathered their beloved friends to celebrate the unwavering spirit of love that had sparked their resilience. Each story shared became a tribute to the power of embracing one's truth, a song that transcended obligations, awakening the hearts surrounding them. Evelyn, with a flicker of joy in her gaze, proclaimed, "Love is not merely a choice. It is a commitment laden with vulnerability and strength." Samuel echoed her sentiments, inviting others to honor their own journeys. "Let us weave our narratives together, for through love we craft the tales of our lives." As laughter intermingled with tears of joy, a collective promise formed in the air, a vow to embrace love as the force guiding them. "Share your stories of courage, love, and authenticity," Evelyn urged, the warmth of connection igniting their spirits. "Together we can illuminate a world where love transforms every heart it touches." Now we continue with Block 49, Visual Immersion. As winter settled over Hartley Manor, casting a soft white cloak across the grounds, the estate transformed into a picturesque winter wonderland. Lady Evelyn Hartley stood by the frosted window, gazing at the delicate snowflakes spiraling down from the slate-grey sky. Each flake was unique, like the moments that composed the journey of her heart. In this serene silence, she felt a profound sense of peace envelop her. 1 year had passed since she first dared to voice her love. The soft glow from the hearth inside created a sharp contrast to the frigid landscape, heating the air around her as memories danced through her mind, illuminating the path they had taken. The boldness of love had defied tradition's thorny grasp and blossomed anew amongst adversity and heartache, a treasure cherished against the cold winds that howled outside, today marking a celebration of resilience, a toast to the dreams and hopes that filled their hearts to bursting. Yet beneath the tranquility lay remnants of Evelyn's uncertain past, a tenderness still vulnerable to the realities of obligation. The reminders persisted like restless shadows at dusk, taunting her with whispers of what could have been. Countless suitors still flitted about the ballroom, their eyes glued to her with intentions veiled beneath society's curtain. Each encounter felt like an uninvited echo of the past, a flickering warning against the pursuit of love amidst the expectations. However, unlike before, Evelyn now stood firm, fortified by her experiences and the love that had bloomed within her, a love that proved steadfast against the winds of change. She had learned the importance of choice, the right to select her path and define her story. Standing here in this moment, she realized the bittersweet beauty of her own heart's silent strength, a desire not just to dream, but to navigate love's intricate corridors, no longer entrapped, but liberated by the truth she had embraced. The winter gala approached, a polished facade illuminating Hartley Manor as the nobility gathered to celebrate the season's bounty. Each guest arrived bedecked in jewels that twinkled like stars against the background of frosted windows, their laughter echoing through the grand hall, mingling with the strains of a string quartet. Yet, amid the spectacle, a subtle tension seeped into the air, igniting old memories of turmoil and desire. With every turn of conversation, hints of the past teased at the edges of Evelyn's mind. Would Samuel remain unwavering in his devotion, or would the allure of societal expectations and fabricated unions pull him back into the shadows of obligation? As he approached her across the crowded ballroom, clad in deep navy and gold, Evelyn's heart raced, a duet of uncertainty and longing echoing within her. The warmth of his presence enveloped her, and amid the swirling energy of the evening, they became a singular focal point, two souls anchored in a love that defied the confines of duty, yet played upon the edges of desire. As the waters of merriment ebbed and flowed around them, Evelyn felt the tender ache of longing seep through her with each moment spent near Samuel. The easy laughter he shared with others created a chasm that threatened to swallow her whole. With every playful exchange, she felt her own heart constricting, torn between duty and the overpowering need to claim the love she cherished. Clara glided past, hers a practiced elegance marked by a gaze that lingered on Samuel longer than necessary, and it ignited a tempest of insecurity within Evelyn. Would he ever choose her? The weight of expectation settled hard on her shoulders, suffocating her courage beneath layers of gilded obligations. Even as the highlights of the evening shone bright, Evelyn knew darkness lurked behind the facade, a fear that sentiment remained unspoken, dragging her down a familiar pathway of emotional rejection. Silently, she resolved to push through the storm, her heart alight with determination to forge a different narrative, one not dictated by whispers of what might have been. As midnight approached, the ballroom shimmered under the glow of chandeliers, each glittering piece evoking whispers and murmurs forged through a mix of envy and delight. Tales of love and loss filled the air like a sweet perfume, tempting chandeliers to echo with sensational stories, as laughter harmonized with superficial pleasantries. "You would think Samuel and Clara were already wed," one lady remarked, her smile a mask of intrigue. Evelyn winced, feeling the eyes of the room settle upon her as if dragging her into the betraying light of scrutiny. With every comment circling around them, the weight of expectations pressed heavily like thick fog, slowly enveloping her spirited heart. The allegations floating through the air felt heavier than ever, underscoring the manifestations of jealousy that danced alongside admiration. Was it merely the bonds of duty that held Samuel in Clara's orbit, or was love cast in shades that no one else could perceive? In this dazzling chaos, Evelyn's resolve began to solidify. silencing the exterior noise and offering only honesty and her truth in reply. As laughter reverberated through the hall, Evelyn made her way toward the tranquil gardens, where the hushed whispers of the night air provided solace. In the darkness, she could release the tumultuous emotions that had built inside her so fiercely. The memories of nights spent penning heartfelt letters to Samuel returned, each word carefully chosen to express feelings she struggled to articulate into the spoken word, tangled truths choking her. Sitting atop a stone bench, she drafted another letter to herself, a guide through the labyrinth of her heart. Truth and desire coexist, she wrote, etching each curve of the script with conviction. Each word became a mirror reflecting the palpitating heartbeat of her longing. She refused to let fear dictate her choices any longer. With the flickering lanterns illuminating her resolve, she felt determined to declare all the emotions that had been trapped within her soul. It was time to channel her vulnerabilities into empowerment, to ensure that sweet whispers of love could thrive in spaces no longer dimmed by fear. In the days that followed, walls began to crumble as the walls of Hartley Manor transformed into a haven for authenticity and reconciliation. The winter gala's shadow lingered, yet there, amidst the crackling warmth of the fire and the scent of cedar, a renewed sense of closeness emerged between Evelyn and Samuel. On a particularly crisp evening, they adventured into the woods, surrounded by snow-draped boughs illuminated by the silver glow of the moon. As they sought solace beneath the canopy of stars, a gust of wind swept through, inviting the moment to unfold unimpeded. "Evelyn," Samuel began, his voice filled with a wistful longing that resonated within her heart. "You are my resolve, the brilliant light that beckons me forward." Their gazes locked, and in that suspended silence all reservations melted away. Their palms brushed together, sparks igniting as their fingers intertwined, solidifying the unguarded bond that had flourished since they first recognized one another's souls. The stark beauty of winter gradually gave way to the thawing warmth of early spring, as the flowers bloomed anew in the gardens, an echo of transformation that resonated deeply within Evelyn's heart. Each day became an expedition into the vibrant wilderness that now thrived under the softened sun, where Samuel accompanied her with laughter that sparked joy and reassurance. Together, they rode through meandering trails, laughter mingling with the soft zephyrs brushing against blossoming petals, awakening aspirations long buried. Here, Evelyn found freedom, the kind that flourished in shared moments where time ceased to exist. Conversations flowed, plans painted vivid futures, and laughter became the melody celebrating their love unadulterated by obligation. As the world awakened from its slumber, so too did they. Growing side by side, each adventure a brushstroke on the canvas of their lives, a masterpiece evolving not just as individuals, but as partners bound by authenticity and love. But darkness can linger even in the most vibrant seasons, and a chilling breeze swept into Hartley Manor, carrying news of Lady Clara's sudden and mysterious illness. The household was thrown into a flurry of uncertainty, leaving Evelyn feeling a pang of empathy for Clara. As she witnessed Samuel rally around her with unwavering faith, her heart both ached and soared. How could loyalty extend to another while igniting her own desires? Clara, now a tarnished jewel beneath the spectre of loss, made Evelyn reflect on the fragile nature of existence and love itself. That very night, an unexpected confrontation of frailty drove home the lessons they had reviewed together: love, loyalty, and the act of choosing who to stand by. In the quiet whispers of Samuel's concern for Clara, Evelyn's heart trembled at the enormity and magnitude of their connection. Would their blossoming joy withstand the shadows of despair so rapidly cast? In juxtaposition, she found her own hope shimmering defiantly against the encroaching darkness, determined to remain anchored in the resilience of love. In the wake of Clara's recovery, Evelyn and Samuel became entwined in discussions of loyalty and love, perceiving the heart's intricate tapestry woven over time in each meaningful encounter. As the world gradually shifted from worry to gradual healing, the fragility of emotions resulted in a powerful shift, a catharsis that promised renewal. One evening, beneath a blanket of stars reflecting the shimmering waters of the estate, they spoke freely of their aspirations, fears and desires, no longer shackled by vestiges of doubt. "My heart is unbound," Samuel began, his voice a soothing balm, "and I choose to pursue the journey ahead with you. not against the lingering whispers of obligation. In this shared revelation, they found clarity and unity reflected in each other's eyes. Bound by vulnerability, they vowed to untangle the snares of societal expectations alongside their intrinsic love, paving the way for a journey rooted in authenticity. Their commitment became a pact sealed beneath the sky, promising to cherish the shifting tides of love that reminded them of their strength in unity. As the blooms of spring unfurled, so too did the fabric of family intertwine and expand around Evelyn and Samuel, reflecting the luminous love they had cultivated. Together, they began welcoming friends and loved ones beneath the blossoming trees, their laughter transforming Hartley Manor into a sanctuary for those who sought connection and warmth. The twilight gathering stirred joy in Evelyn's heart, where she drew others into the embrace of their love, each conversation echoing with the promise of new beginnings. The essence of community flourished, transcending narrow definitions of family, crafting a tapestry that embraced love, laughter, and resilience as its guiding principles. Samuel and Evelyn planted seeds of their own, welcoming family into their shared journey, nurturing connections that felt rooted in passion and authenticity rather than obligation and tradition. The estate thrived under the embrace of shared stories and aspirations, blooming beautifully into a haven where love could flourish unbound, nourishing every heart within as they celebrated living wholly and freely. On the eve of their first anniversary, the air hung heavy with anticipation, the turning of a chapter drawing near. Surrounded by friends and family beneath a tapestry of constellations, Evelyn and Samuel stood together, hands clasped in a testament to their unwavering bond. "In every struggle we found grace, in every obstacle we discovered strength," Evelyn spoke, her voice ringing clear with emotion, resonant among the gathering. "Love is not merely a feeling, it is a promise and a choice we make every day." Samuel nodded, heart swelling with pride and gratitude for the journey that had led them here. "Together we forge forward, defying expectations, dancing with our dreams." Laughter and voices bubbled around them as toasts were made, warmth emanating like light from their hearts, illuminating the beauty of their intertwined stories. Share your own truths with those you hold dear, foster connections that transcend societal norms, Evelyn urged. Let love guide your journeys, for it has the power to transform all who embrace it. Now we continue with Block 61, Visual Immersion. As dawn broke on the first anniversary of their union, light streamed through the windows of Hartley Manor, casting a warm golden hue over the meticulously arranged flowers that adorned every corner of the estate. Lady Evelyn Hartley rose early, the excitement of the day filling her with an electrifying energy. Every detail of the forthcoming celebration pulsed with meaning, the floral arrangements, the anticipated laughter of friends, and the warmth of Samuel's presence beside her. Sunbeams danced across the polished surfaces, reflecting the joy that echoed through her heart. Today, every bloom seemed more vivid, every note of laughter more resonant, embracing the promise of fresh beginnings, a day to commemorate not just love, but the journey they had bravely undertaken. With each passing moment, she felt the radiant pulse of life surrounding her, illuminating the path of hope and connection that had blossomed from the ashes of despair, inviting her to celebrate love in all its multifaceted splendor. Yet the crisp beauty of the day held within it glimmers of uncertainty. The lingering specter of societal expectations tugged softly at her heart. As she donned her gown, a beautiful ivory dream adorned with delicate lace, she couldn't shake the feeling that the world would scrutinize them once more. Duty whispered of decorum, of maintaining appearances. Desire yearned to breathe freely and loudly into existence. Should she give in to the whispers that had long lingered, demanding she conform, or could she stretch the bounds of her newfound freedom, letting her love soar unfettered? Evelyn inhaled deeply, reminding herself of the strength they'd cultivated together, the way love had transformed every judgmental glance into a moment of clarity that showcased their resilience. Entering this celebration, she vowed to stand firm amid whispers, her heart urging her forward into the embrace of genuine connection, marrying love with authenticity, a delightful rebellion against tradition. As guests began to fill Hartley Manor, the estate sprung to life, each character draping elegance over the halls with sumptuous attire. The air thrummed with anticipation, laughter swirling within the grand ballroom like a fragrant bouquet. The light refracted through crystal chandeliers, creating a kaleidoscope of color that enveloped everyone present. Samuel stood at her side, dashing and radiant, infusing the gathering with warmth and exuberance. As the music began, they danced. Two hearts entwined amidst swirling gowns and spinning bodies, their love igniting the atmosphere. Smiling faces mirrored theirs, but beneath it all were still whispers, treading the line between admiration and jealousy, a strain of societal tension underlying every glance. Yet tonight felt magical. Evelyn refused to let lingering doubts mar this moment. Their connection defied cold union or spectacle. It celebrated the beauty of vulnerability, layering their love with richness, sung through the resonance of shared hearts dancing through time. Yet in the heart of revelry, Evelyn could not evade the unsettling echoes of her past insecurities. A familiar twinge of anxiety crept in, and she caught sight of Lady Clara moving gracefully throughout the room, captivating guests with a vibrant smile that concealed deeper complexities. The whispers clawed at her heart, slowly churned into a maelstrom of doubt, doubts that Samuel could still be drawn to Clara's refined beauty and charm. The cacophony of laughter rang in her ears, a constant reminder of her fears that love could fracture under the weight of expectations. Resolute movements veered to guilt as she turned her heart inward, the ache of emotional rejection plaguing her spirit. Would she remain a shadow next to the bright figures molded by society? As anguish tightened around her heart, Evelyn took a breath, leaning on the strength forged during the months spent nurturing their bond. The dance floor spun around her, yet she yearned not to become lost in this whirlwind. She wanted to emerge unafraid, ready to confront her feelings honestly and with intention. As the evening wore on, the atmosphere sparkled with energy, yet the undercurrents of gossip began to rise, tiny embers igniting disbelief among the crowd. "Have you heard?" one lady whispered. "The Duke seems quite taken with his bride, but will he remain true if temptation approaches?" Each smirk and sidelong glance sent Evelyn's pulse racing, the air thick with implications of betrayal and scrutiny. She could practically feel the weight of their judgments pressing down, pooling into her chest like lead. In that moment, the laughter around them faded, leaving only the stirrings of her heart. Clenching her unfinished glass of wine, she redirected her thoughts inward. So many voices proclaiming their echo of discontent, yet failing to witness the depths of love they had forged. She refused to let opinions dampen her spirit. Samuel's devotion was hers, a flame that shined bright against a world too eager to judge. As their eyes met across the ballroom, her heart ignited, suffusing her with a determination that silenced the doubts. Later in the evening, as soft melodies drifted in the background, Evelyn slipped into a secluded alcove, yearning for a moment of tranquility away from prying eyes. Here, in the dim light, she allowed her mind to fully confront the duality of her heart. This tumultuous love entwined with the scars of her past. She brought forth the memories of her early days in Hartley, filled with the weight of obligation crushing her spirit, those fears haunting her, even as she stood by Samuel's side. With pen and paper in hand, she poured herself onto the pages, each word becoming a cathartic release, echoing truths long suppressed. "I embrace love for all it is," she wrote, a dance of vulnerability amidst the tension of expectations. Evelyn poured out her resolve to shed the past, hopeful that the act of revealing her innermost secrets fueled by love would reignite her strength both for herself and Samuel. Summoning courage, she reaffirmed her commitment, a timeless promise sworn in a world that longed to bind her, a truth worth fighting for even in the shadows of doubt. As she finished writing, the resolve within her heart solidified like steel, ready to embrace vulnerability anew. Summoning her courage, she moved back into the ballroom, the glow of candles matching the fire within her soul. Spotting Samuel across the room, she approached him with purpose, undaunted by the fear that had once plagued her spirit. Their eyes locked, and in that moment, a spark ignited, a pure, unspoken bond that surged between them, bridging the gap of uncertainty. "I've had revelations tonight," she began, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "Our love demands honesty, a freedom to be vulnerable amidst the chaos." Samuel, illuminated by the soft light, stepped closer, capturing her hands in his. "Then let us forge this path together, unyielding in our path," he replied, a promise transforming between them. In that moment, The outside world faded. Everything else melted away, leaving just the two of them, drawn together by a magnetism deeper than obligations chains, their hearts moving towards a shared future, abounding with hope. The weeks that followed unveiled a gentle cadence infused with love's rhythm that harmonized with the seasons shifting around them. Samuel and Evelyn reveled in the essence of spring, morning rides through blossom-laden paths, a living canvas painted in vibrant blooms echoing their spirits. Each day unfurled new adventures as they forged their futures side by side, from planting seeds in their beloved garden to dancing barefoot under canopies of woven branches, hearts intertwining in celebration of life. They explored the wild landscape of a shared existence only they could create, with moonlit dinners and fervent hopes echoing against the wind. As time cascaded forward, laughter sprinkled the air like petals in bloom, nurturing blossoms of joy that sprouted within the two of them. Within this newfound freedom, they would forge ahead, confident that love unfettered by fears of yesterday would blossom into a vibrant union drenched in connection and authenticity, resilient against the unpredictability of a changing world. Yet amid the beauty of new beginnings lurked reminders of heartache, and as the whispers of an impending storm began to ripple through their idyllic lives, Clara returned to Hartley Manor, undeniably frail yet resolute. Samuel, ever steadfast in his loyalty, felt the weight of duty compel him to provide support, sparking feelings of unease within Evelyn. The tension crystallized between the warmth of their shared love and the chill of Clara's demands, an internal struggle that threatened the balance they had so carefully cultivated. Clara's presence reintroduced herself sharply into Evelyn's consciousness, the ghost of jealousy resurfacing with razor edges, entwined within the compassion she felt for Samuel's unwavering spirit. Each encounter with Clara raised the stakes for Evelyn. Would love navigate this treacherous terrain unscathed? In vulnerable moments, she grappled to find solace in knowing that true love required honor and loyalty, the risks worth pursuing amidst the apprehension just beyond the horizon of uncertainty. In the face of uncertainty, Evelyn and Samuel chose to confront the lingering shadows directly, standing together as allies against the tumult. One evening, amidst the glowing embers of the hearth, they invited Clara to join them, creating a space for honesty to flourish. The room was thick with emotion. Each breath held the weight of unspoken truths as they turned to Clara, who sat, poised yet vulnerable, the embodiment of fragility amidst an air of resolve. Samuel reached for Evelyn's hand, and together they spoke, their hearts intertwined in vulnerability. "We are bound by our past, yes," Samuel began, voice unwavering. "But the truth of our love is a choice we've made, to face the future with authenticity." The moment hung, suspended in time, until Clara's voice broke through the stillness. "I wish you both joy," she whispered, acknowledging that love must flow unfettered, a revelation echoing in the hearts of all. In that moment of truth, all found a cathartic release, a promise of unity that broke the chains of societal obligation, each heart intertwined in freedom. As winter yielded to spring, the air flourished in warmth, while Evelyn and Samuel began to prepare for their future, a family united by love, transformed in cycles of nurturing. The landscape of Hartley Manor blossomed in tandem with the stirring sentiments in their hearts, affirming their commitment to cultivate a life together. Evoking harmony and connection, they embraced the ways love could flourish by inviting friends into their circle. Each laughter shared a testament to the choice they made to build bridges rather than fortresses of solitude. As blossoms erupted into color, they embarked on the next chapter, painting their lives with memories filled with joy and laughter. Each evening, the shared meals echoed with camaraderie and togetherness, weaving bonds that transcended mere acquaintance. Clara remained a gentle reminder of vulnerability, her spirit boldly etched into the foundation of their destinies. The embodiment of resilience against adversity, she blossomed alongside them, affirming the beauty of acceptance into the tapestry of life painted with unconditional love. As the seasons changed once more, marking a year since that transformational gala, Evelyn gathered all her cherished friends beneath a canopy of stars. The evening's glow was adorned not just with the light of the lanterns, but the warmth that enveloped their circles, remnants of love forged through shared journey and heartache. Ava stood, poised to summarize their passage through adversity into authenticity. The trials transformed into wisdom, each moment another thread woven into their hearts. Tonight we celebrate not just love's rebirth, but the enduring commitment of those who believe in the power of truth and connection, she declared, buoying them together. Samuel added warmly, "Embrace your own journeys, for love nurtured in vulnerability is a fire that cannot be extinguished. Share your tales and keep this light alive." Laughter erupted, mingling with the promises of the past, ranged toward the embrace of bright futures, weaving a legacy that echoed through every heartbeat. Together they affirm, within love resides both courage and authenticity, a journey enriched by the bonds that unite them. Now we continue with Block 73, Visual Immersion. As summer dawned upon Hartley Manor, the estate burgeoned with life, bathed in golden sunlight that poured over lush gardens brimming with vibrant blooms. The fragrance of lilacs spilled forth, mingling with laughter that echoed in the air, a melody befitting the essence of happiness now surrounding Evelyn and Samuel. She stepped outside to greet the day, feeling the light brush her skin like a tender caress, reminding her of the incredible journey they had traversed together. The radiant flowers reflected their blossomed love, which had flourished amidst adversity and doubt, to become a sanctuary where their dreams intertwined. Evelyn smiled, reveling in the newfound freedom encasing her heart. This was a summer of not just flourishing petals, but also of impossible possibilities realized, an embodiment of growth, a symphony of souls celebrating the warmth of connection where every flower told a tale, and every leaf danced in harmony with the rhythm of love unfolding around them. Yet as the enchanting days unfolded, echoes of expectation still hummed softly in the background, reminding Evelyn of the delicate balancing act she had come to master. With the festivities of summer came the resurfacing of anticipated gatherings, all filled with superficial demands and uninvited judgments. In every corner of the estate, whispers grew, curious glances excited by the power dynamics at play during such celebrations. Would her love with Samuel withstand the gaze of a society keen on placing labels and judgments upon them? In those moments, she often turned inward, grounding herself in the truth of her affection for him, unencumbered by perfection. It was this very love that sustained her spirit, the understanding that came with choosing each day to embrace the joy intertwined with uncertainty, ever ready to stand unwavering against the weight of tradition that sought to dictate who she should love. Here in the luminous glow of summer, Evelyn resolved to bear the mantle of duty, but this time with a heart alive in desire, free and ardent, dancing against the currents of doubt. The anticipated summer gala arrived, drawing the elite of society to Hartley Manor, transforming the estate into a dazzling spectacle of grandeur. Guests arrived adorned in the finest silks and jewels, voices mingling in effervescent performance, creating a vibrant tapestry swirling in every corner of the hall. Laughter resounded like music, framing the event with an air of exhilaration. Yet beneath this radiant facade, Evelyn felt flickers of insecurity rising from the depths like tendrils of smoke. Samuel, resplendent beside her yet shrouded by the solicitous demands of their guests, was thrust into the spotlight, his presence drawing admiration that felt both exhilarating and unsettling. With every compliment exchanged, Evelyn's resolve was challenged. Would their love remain an oasis amid such turbulent waters? As they began to dance, moving gracefully among the throng, she focused on the strength forged through their shared journey, reminding herself that true love defies convention. It thrives among chaos, united by honesty and authenticity, refusing to adhere to any imposed spectacle. Underneath the shimmering facade of the gala, heartache still lingered like shadows veiling the brightest moments. As the evening continued, Evelyn caught herself grappling with doubts that clawed at her heart. Whispers surrounded them like a tempest. Every stolen glance between Samuel and other admirers felt amplified, tightening her chest with an unbearable weight. The moments of connection they had forged in private clashed against the public persona, creating dissonance that resonated deep within her being. Her breath quickened. Uncertainty flooded her senses, dragging her toward a familiar chasm of emotional rejection. The decisions that led them here hung heavy in the air, making her question her place in his heart. A tempest of vulnerability swirled within her. Yet in that moment of solitude, a flicker of determination returned, igniting the embers of hope buried beneath her fears. As she danced amid the crowd, she resolved not to let anxiety stain her spirit. She would embrace the umbra of uncertainty alongside a love that dared to shine in the darkness, illuminated by the warmth of shared truth. As the night wore on, swirling voices filled the ballroom with intoxicating gossip, each bite sharpened by whispers of intrigue. The hum of the soiree intermingled with the light banter of affluent whispers, twisting the air like silken threads. "Can you fathom the audacity?" one guest remarked, eyes glittering with delight. "A duke and his commoner bride? The match is as bizarre as it is heartfelt." Whispers echoed through the columns of marble and gold, amplifying the tension that loomed like a dark cloud over Evelyn's heart. Each comment felt like a breathless dagger, thrusting into the delicate fabric of her self-assurance, reinforcing the insecurities that had resurfaced amid the festivities. Could they truly escape the chains of judgment, or would the scrutiny create fissures that divided them? Each shared chuckle felt suffocating, yet alongside simmering frustrations, there also remained a flicker of resilience. No matter the opinions swarming, love was a seamless thread woven from honesty, and if they remained true to themselves, perhaps this tapestry could withstand the scrutiny of the world. Under the veil of the ballroom's enchantment, Evelyn retreated to the quiet garden, the gentle caress of the night air embracing her worries. The moon hung low, casting silver shadows across cobblestones, mirroring the duality within her heart. In solitude, she could reflect upon the journey they had undertaken, each phase marking a deeper commitment through undulations of passion and doubt. With pen in hand, she took to scripting her thoughts, a retreat that had transformed from quiet insecurity into empowerment. "Love binds freely, yet carries the weight of choice," she wrote, each word a testament to her journey through insecurity to resolution. The ink flowed like a river, carrying her vulnerability in a stream toward clarity. Her emotions began softening the edges of harsh expectations, allowing love to breathe. As each revelation poured forth, she unearthed secrets hidden in the shadows of her heart, ready to embrace the depths of her affection for Samuel. She refused to let societal constructs choke her spirit or drown her truth, and this moment became a manifestation of empowerment, a promise to rise unbound and fearless against judgmental gazes. Emerging from the solace of the garden, Evelyn re-entered the ballroom with renewed vigor like a soft breeze igniting flames. Searching for Samuel, she felt her heartbeat sync with the rhythm of the celebration, an alluring melody that beckoned her forward until their eyes locked across the crowded room. Time slowed, and an unspoken understanding radiated between them, as though amidst the din they existed within their own realm. She approached him, heart racing, determined to dismantle the barriers that fear had erected. "Tonight, let us reveal our truths," she breathed, voicing the intricate sentiments woven into her heart, clear eyes reflecting her resolve. Samuel responded, the depth of his gaze mirroring her own. "I feel you in every beat of my heart. Let's dance unshackled by the expectations of the world." Their arms enveloped each other in a graceful embrace, allowing their souls to dance freely on waves of emotion. The world faded around them, leaving only the fervent connection like stars illuminating the shadows, a testament to the authenticity of their journey and the power found in vulnerability. The dawn of new beginnings came soon after the gala. Evelyn and Samuel embraced the warm embrace of summer as new chapters began to unfold. With each day marked by vibrant explorations among the verdant greenery that enveloped Hartley Manor, they spent their time forging connections and memories beneath the expansive skies. Laughter filled the air as they rode side by side, joy intertwining in the fragrant meadows that became their sanctuary. Sunsets painted their stories in lush colors, weaving a tapestry of adventures together with every shared moment. Each gesture and smile confirmed their bond, enlightening the shadows that had once clouded their hearts. The structure of love built on honesty allowed them to dance unencumbered through life, creating a life of truth and authenticity insulated from society's grasp. As blossoms burst open in dazzling hues, they discovered the beauty in the unknown, each choice unfurling into a future they had claimed together, optimistic and unwavering, a journey wrapped in love and celebration that was only beginning.